Have you ever wondered how a simple idea can transform the world, touching billions of lives and shaping the very definition of care? This is the story of Johnson & Johnson, a journey that began not in a boardroom, but with a revolutionary concept that would change medicine forever. It's a tale of ambition, of heartbreak, and of an unwavering commitment to humanity that has spanned over a century. Our story begins in 1886, in New Brunswick, New Jersey. The world of surgery was a perilous one, where the threat of infection loomed larger than the surgeon's scalpel. A visionary English surgeon, Joseph Lister, had proposed a radical theory that invisible germs were the culprits behind post-surgical deaths and that antiseptic procedures could save lives. While many in the medical community were skeptical, three brothers Robert Wood Johnson, James Wood Johnson, and Edward Mead Johnson saw not just a theory, but a calling. Inspired by Lister's work, they founded a small company with a grand mission to make surgery sterile and safe. Their first product was nothing short of a revolution. In 1886, they introduced the world's first commercial sterile surgical sutures. Before this, surgeons often used unsterilized thread, turning a routine operation into a life-or-death gamble. With J&J's sutures, the risk of infection plummeted, and the operating room was transformed from a place of fear into a sanctuary of healing. But their vision didn't stop at the hospital doors. 2 years later, in 1888, they noticed a need among railroad workers in remote locations, far from any doctor. What if they had a small box of essentials to treat injuries on the spot? From this simple question, the first commercial first aid kit was born. It was a humble collection of sterile dressings, bandages, and antiseptics, yet it empowered ordinary people to become first responders, saving countless lives with immediate care. The company that started by serving surgeons was now serving everyone. This spirit of seeing a need and meeting it led them down an unexpected path. In 1894, while developing medicated plasters, they included a small tin of Italian talc to soothe skin irritation. Customers soon discovered this soft, fragrant powder was perfect for babies' delicate skin. And so, Johnson's Baby Powder was born, an accidental icon that would become a symbol of gentle care in households around the globe. As the 20th century dawned, the torch was passed to a new generation. Robert Wood Johnson, too, the founder's son, stepped into leadership in 1932. He wasn't just content with maintaining the company. He dreamed of building a global force for health. But General Johnson, as he was known, believed that a company's true strength wasn't measured in profits, but in its principles. In 1943, just before taking the company public, he sat down and penned what would become the soul of Johnson & Johnson, the Credo. It was a simple, one-page document, but its message was profound. It declared that the company's first responsibility was to the patients, doctors and nurses, to the mothers and fathers and all who use their products, responsibilities to employees, communities, and finally, to shareholders would follow. This was a radical idea, placing people before profits, codifying a moral compass to guide every decision. The Credo wasn't just a plaque on a wall. It was a promise. Under this guiding philosophy, J&J continued to innovate, introducing everyday essentials, like the Band-Aid in 1921. A product born from a husband's love for his accident-prone wife and expanding its reach with trusted brands like Listerine. But the strength of this promise would be tested in the crucible of a national crisis. In 1982, an unimaginable horror struck. In Chicago, 7 people died suddenly and mysteriously. The cause was soon discovered: Tylenol capsules. One of J&J's most trusted products had been maliciously laced with cyanide by an unknown perpetrator. Fear and panic swept the nation. The Tylenol brand, which had commanded over a third of the painkiller market, seemed destined for ruin. The company faced a terrifying choice: do the minimum to protect the bottom line, or do the absolute most to protect the public? Guided by the Credo, CEO James Burke made a decision that would become a landmark in corporate ethics. He chose humanity over money, a decisive, unprecedented move. J&J recalled all 31 million bottles of Tylenol from shelves across the country, a decision that cost the company over $100 million. They communicated openly and honestly with the public, taking full responsibility even though they were victims of a crime. This act of corporate courage did more than just contain the crisis. It forged an unbreakable bond of trust with the American people. When Tylenol returned to the market, it was with revolutionary, triple-sealed, tamper-proof packaging, a new industry standard that protected everyone. Against all odds, the brand not only recovered but grew even stronger, a testament to the power of doing the right thing. The decades that followed were a period of explosive growth. Fueled by its renewed purpose, J&J embarked on a series of strategic acquisitions to become a true healthcare giant. In 1994, it welcomed Neutrogena into the family, expanding its footprint in the beauty and skincare world. The acquisition of Dupuis in 1998 established J&J as a leader in orthopedic devices, helping millions regain mobility and live fuller lives. Through its pharmaceutical arm Janssen, the company developed life-changing drugs like Remicade and Procrate, offering new hope to patients battling chronic and life-threatening diseases. From a simple suture to complex biologics, J&J was now present at nearly every stage of a person's health journey. Yet a journey of this length is never without its trials. In recent years, the company has faced some of its most difficult challenges. It has been confronted with thousands of lawsuits alleging that its iconic talcum powder was linked to cancer, leading to the difficult decision to discontinue the talc-based product globally and transition to a cornstarch formula. While simultaneously, its subsidiary Janssen found itself embroiled in the devastating opioid crisis that has gripped the United States. These legal battles have tested the company's reputation and forced a deep reckoning with its legacy and responsibilities. But even in the face of adversity, the spirit of innovation and service endures. When the world was plunged into the darkness of the COVID-19 pandemic, J&J's scientists at Janssen worked tirelessly, developing one of the world's first single-dose vaccines, a critical tool in the global fight against the virus. And in a historic move to adapt for the future, the company recently underwent a monumental restructuring. In 2023, the beloved consumer brands that had been part of households for generations Band-Aid, Tylenol, Listerine, Neutrogena were spun off into a new independent company called Kenvue. This bold decision allows Johnson & Johnson to sharpen its focus on the frontiers of science, dedicating its full force to the high-stakes worlds of pharmaceuticals and medical technology, where the next generation of life-saving breakthroughs will be born. From a sterile thread to gene therapies, from a first aid kit to a global vaccine. The story of Johnson & Johnson is a powerful reminder that a company is more than just its products or its profits. It is a living story of human endeavor, of facing down the impossible, of picking up the pieces after a crisis, and of a relentless drive to care for the world, one person at a time. It's a journey that began with a simple question of how to make healing safer. And it continues today, ever evolving but with its heart still rooted in the simple, powerful promise made so many years ago to put the well-being of people first.